we've got spaghetti, we've got junction. Right guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. Today's episode is going to be slightly longer than normal. This job that I'm going to show you, it was just a case of moving the boiler from downstairs up into the airing cupboard and sorting the pipework out. Now the pipework was a complete mess on this job. There was quite a lot of speed fitting stuff just lashed in, and I did my best to tidy it up as best as possible, and sometimes that's all you can ever do. I did have a bit of an issue when I came to fire this boiler up. I was really struggling for circulation. You see at the end I changed the pump. I tried pulling bits through, and you'll see why it never worked, or it was never going to work. I did really enjoy the job, but it gets frustrating at the end when you can't get things to work. But yeah, you'll see in the video I've tried to keep the footage as genuine and as real as possible, and I've tried to not edit too much out of this one, just so you can see what it's like really. I will quickly tell you about one job I've just been on. Yeah, it was a bit of a story, so bear with. Well, I'll do the shortened version. Basically, I got sent to, it was a school. I didn't film any of the job. I think there was 30 pairs of taps to change for me and some blenders to service. So fairly simple job. So I'm working away there, and I can hear these radiators glugging in. Oh, that's strange. I know there's other contractors doing stuff on site. There's decorators, sparkies and stuff. So I thought nothing of it really. I just cracked on anyway. I started to hear some shouting. I thought I'd best go and have a look what's going on. Anyway, these two plumbers, I don't know what they were thinking. I think they were moving some radiators in a classroom, and they'd cut into they'd cut into one of the pipes above the ceiling. It was a steel one. It was coming off an inch run, and they cut on the half inch. And one of them's got his hand over the pipe like this, and the other one's booking it out the door. He says, "Oh, do you know where the caretaker is, mate?" I says, "No, he's gone home." I've got his number though, if you want it. He says, "Oh no, we've got a bit of a problem here, we can't stop this water." I says, "Well, have you turned the cold feeds off?" He says, No, it's pressurised." I says, "No, it's not, this school's tank fed." So anyway, he says, "You keep bucketing the water, I'll go and turn the cold feeds off for you." Anyway, so I switched the cold feeds off. I says, "Have you got an hose pipe?" He says, "No, we ain't got an hose." So I put an hose on the drop for him to, get rid of some of the water, because it's two stories, this school, so you've got all what's above you as well, and there's water flying everywhere. And I said, "Well, what's your plan? Were you going to undo the fitting?" He says, "No, we're going to put these fittings straight on here." I says, "Well, they're speed fit, they're not going to go on the iron." So I says, "You need to go and wait for the water to stop, go and get some nail irons, undo them from there." And so yeah, I ended up giving her a hand for a couple of minutes just to get started. Because they've got no Stilsons or anything. I don't know why they've got no Stilsons, no idea, I don't think. But yeah, it's probably the same people who put this heating system in on this job where I was on. You'll see why it didn't work in a minute. But yeah, so it just staggers me. But yeah, as I say, I'll always help people out and stuff like that when they get a problem, but they've literally got, well, I don't think they've got any idea between them. But yeah, so yeah, we'll crack straight on with the video. But yeah, I just thought I'd tell you that story. I was just staggered at how you could turn up to a job and not have any sort of control or any idea of how you're gonna do it. But yeah, they're out there doing it. So yeah, and I say that's what you're pricing against when you do these jobs as well. But yeah, we'll get straight on with the job I was going to show you. So boiler's going on here somewhere. We're going to have to try and sort all this speed fit out. It's running back along, so I'll end up cutting it down there, rerouting this around. We've got, well, that's a hot pipe coming off the top of the cylinder. We've got, I think that's the cold, and then there's bits of heating as well. So I'm going to try and tidy it all up. That's the heating vessel. That's the one for the unvented cylinder, and then we've got a pump, so it's an S-plan system with a bypass. We're going to put new pump valves on, leaving the zone valves, tidy up this unvented discharge pipework. Not sure what's going on with that. So yeah, that's pretty much the job, and then tidy up the pipework downstairs as well, where the boiler is. Oh, see if we can see what we can do. So we've got to tidy these pipework up down here next to the boiler as well. So that is that's a flow to that radiator. That's a return to that radiator. And then we've got cold main going up in that speed fit 22. And then we've got hot coming down. So these two here will be cut off, that flow and return. That one there's an old primary, I believe. It probably had a 4-pipe boiler in. And that would have been primary flow. That would have been primary return. So they'll be dead, and then we're gonna, well, this wall's nibbed out anyway, so we're gonna get them tight back to the wall, and then I think they're gonna continue that across. don't know, we'll have a look at it. I'm not going to drain anything down today because it's Friday. I'm going to try and get a lot of my pipework in, new gas and everything, and I'm removing this up to the airing cupboard. But yeah, we'll see what we can do with it anyway. This balance cold off this pressure reduction valve picks up the rest of the cold for the house, so I'll probably renew it from this point around, pick that one back up, clip it back to the wall a little bit, and then do away with this one over the top. We'll clip it lower down somewhere and then pick it all back down there, and likewise the hot will drop down and come along or go under the boiler. I think the boiler's going to have to go there, the flue. And then we can see what we can do with the rest of it. At least the composite valve is above the cylinder and it's been piped up correctly, so expansion comes off that side. That's balanced. D1 is probably a little bit too long, but not the absolute end of the world. And then we got that cold there, but that's our cold main coming up that was down in the airing cupboard. And then they're heating at the bottom. Must be nearly through with that. This way. Gas wants to be poured somewhere there, but we're core 1.25 inches through so we can leave it, so that'll go there. Just need to see where the rest of the pipe is. I mean, the boiler's going to sit probably there somewhere. I might have to move that yet. So that gas pipe one absolutely flew through there. Probably is a new bit on there as well, to be fair. I've just got to try and get one out as low as possible down this side for the discharge off this unvented. We'll just run that 1.25 inch push fit and then into that stack, but we'll put a PetVO, or we'll put one of them waterless ton dishes on there. I'll show you what I mean. I've got one in my bag. But yeah, we'll get that drilled out there somewhere. I'll probably have to take this up. So they've had an issue here, well, they must have had an issue here with some radiators coming on when they put the hot water on. That hot water return should have been the last one back into the boiler, so somebody's put a check valve in to stop these returns from these radiators. Clearly they've been added in, them radiators, because they've put a speed fit T and then they've put a check valve in. I'm not sure where the common return is, but what we'll do is we'll make sure when we put our return in, that one goes back into the boiler last, or yeah, it's the last one back in, because then we don't need that check valve and stuff. And then we'll pick this radiator return up. I don't know where the main return is. We'll have to have a look at that. That's our flow. That's our flow coming from our boiler through across bypass valve. What I'll probably do is just cut this off here when I drain down and then just rejig it all. But that's currently the unvented discharge, comes along, runs around and then into that stack, but I'm going to drill a new one out down here. This is rubbish, isn't it? Bits of speed fit lashed everywhere. Soldered my first elbow for my gas pipe on the floor, and then this pipe will feed through the wall. We've drilled a 1.25 inch hole so we can sleeve it and seal it. With the gas pipes, never flux inside, external only. It's not blocking anything. could have pressed it, but I did think about doing it in press. I might do inside press, but I don't know. I think we should just get that without being on the bend. So just pull the bend down there, we just clip it down there and straight back onto the meter. So that's my gas run all done. I'm not going to connect it up onto the meter yet because I want to leave this boiler running over the weekend. Yeah, it'll be fine. So we'll go inside and get some of the pipework done up there now. Sleeve need to be 380. So that's 380 for the sleeve for the gas pipe. What I'm going to do Monday is cut all this lot out, but for the time being I'm just going to try and get stuff in. That one there will be dead because that's our flow from our old boiler position downstairs, so we'll probably put the pump underneath the boiler. We'll put the expansion off the return this time. I think we'll mount the filter underneath the boiler there somewhere. There, them radiator returns there. They're coming back round. They're teeing down there, you see. So we'll have to pick that return up and then cap it down at the boiler if we can't cap it down there. See, there shouldn't be anything off the flow. What are they? See, that's their heating. That's MO microbore. That comes off that one, doesn't it? Which comes off the flow. And then that one there, there's 10mm off that return as well. So there's just returns everywhere. To be fair, that's the boiler just through there anyway. So yeah, I'll jig it to a point. I want to do something with it. That's driving me OCD, that one. I really don't want that directly below the new boiler, if I can help it. I might end up rewiring it all anyway, yeah. Everything so far at leveling it is unbelievable, but as I say, every time you put something straight or my new pipework or the laser up, it's just like, ooh. But yeah, it is what it is. We'll sort it all out. so any air will bleed out the top of this filter. It is a high point. I'm just trying to give myself as much space as possible to work on stuff and try and make it as neat as I can. It's not easy. So my pump's going to go there straight out my boiler. We're going to need to pick up the expansion vessel on there. Return or swing her back across. My zone valves are going to mount here. I'm actually reusing these zone valves and that pump, but no pump valves. So I'll put a T there, and then we'll have another T to pick up the bypass. And then I'll just pick up these flow returns. So I need to pick that flow up, and I need to pick the hot water flow up into there. And that's all the heating. Pick back up then. And then the hot and colds, I think I'm going to swing them up, bend with the ceiling and then back down, just to keep everything out of the way. And all this malarkey here will be gone then, and everything will be neat and tidy back in. I like these Geberit ones because it's got the wrapper, so you can take it off so you know you've pressed it. You can't make any mistakes then. These hot and colds, I'm probably just going to bend back down here and then hot pick up here. Got to pick them back up, and then the cold, we'll try and get back over there. We do need, well yeah, I can pick the fill loop off that side then, and drop back down there, and then just tidy that up. So I'm just bending these back down, and then as I say, I'll join these. I'll probably use some speed fit T's down here, I'm not sure yet. I'll do that Monday though, when I can get all the water switched off. We'll leave a T off here for this fill loop, and then we'll join it back in over there somewhere. We'll do what we can with it anyway. Looks a bit better already, doesn't it? Goes around the houses a bit, but at least it's not. So it's going to be day 2 on this one today. I didn't want to drain anything down on Friday, just to leave them so they've got heating and hot water over the weekend. Not that you really need the heating, but yeah, you know what I mean. I just didn't want to touch anything. So today we're going to probably concentrate on the water. We'll get the heating and everything drained down, but we'll get all the hot and colds connected back in the airing cupboard. Got them pipes to sort out on the left hand side of the boiler, and then we can get the boiler moved up into the airing cupboard and try and get everything jigged back in today. And then tomorrow, the system's only 5 years old apparently. So they had all new radiators and everything done 5 years ago, had it all repiped. I mean, it's not the best, a lot of it's done in 10mm micro bore. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Magna Cleanse bolted on there tomorrow, try and balance the whole system up. We'll go around with a thermal camera and see how well it works. So yeah, that's the plan anyway. The reason they're moving the boiler, I probably didn't say this, they're having an extension built at some point, so they wanted the boiler moving up into the airing cupboard, and they're having a whole new kitchen and everything. At the minute everything's gutted downstairs, so yeah, that's why we're moving the boiler. But yeah, we'll see how well we get on today. Hopefully once we get today out of the way with, we'll have full control of the system, and yeah, it should be a lot better then. But we'll get there. Just said I was going to be there at 8 o'clock. It's about 10 to 8. I'm about 2 minutes down the road, so yeah, we'll make track in a minute, and yeah, we'll crack straight back on with it. So I've got a drain off tap on the boiler, so we'll open these valves up, let the heating drain. And if we open these up as well, it should draw in. That'll empty all this pipework hopefully. Right, so I've got all that drained down. I've got a new flue going on the boiler when we move it upstairs. Just got to disconnect the electrics and the gas, and that boiler will lift off. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this pipework yet. I need it as far back as possible, but depending how the returns are picked up on the heating, I'm probably going to have to cap that one there. We'll have a look at it. Hot and colds. Not sure what that one is. I think it's on the heating, but it is live. So yeah, we'll have a look, see what we can do with it anyway. And try and tidy these up at the bottom somehow. And then sort the electrics out as well. It's all good stuff, isn't it? I've got the boiler off now. I've cut back my flow and returns and I've had to cap them in that wall up there because I can't get the pipework on the other side. There's nothing else I can do. That is underneath like the airing cupboard floor. So these hot and colds, I'm just going to clip straight down, back down this side, keep them tight in this corner, and hopefully that'll be within that wall space when they make it good. So the cold I'm just picking back up at the bottom, swing it back in, and then the hot we're going to do the same, and then we'll have a flow and return coming back down here to pick these flow and returns up down here. But we'll try and keep everything in the corner as neat as possible. That gas will be done away with, we'll run a new gas line in. So yeah, that's where we're at. Get these two done, get the water back on, and then we can have a look at the heating and getting the rest of this moved. So we've got a cold main going up and a hot dropping back down. I have got to get a flow and return down here yet as well, just for this radiator drop, as I've already probably said, which we've got to pick up off them two somehow. I might have to chop into the plaster and bring them back down or something, but we'll deal with that. Get the water back on, make sure we've got no leaks on the hot and colds, and then we'll look at getting that sorted. So just crack that back on. I've got the hot isolated on the combi valve anyway, on the cylinder, so it'll only fill the cold up. Make sure the packings don't leak on it, and then back a little bit. That's full open, that's back. I've done what I can with these hot and colds. I'd say it's a lot better than it was before, but where I've tied it in, I've just had to go back onto the speed fit, but there's nothing else I can really do. And likewise over there, I've had to tie back in, but it looks a lot better than it did before. Let's turn that one off. Let's turn that one on. Probably a toilet filling up somewhere. So far so good. Hot circuit, I think there's a toilet filling up. Completely just managed to trap my thumb getting the old bracket off the board there. That'd be a lovely blood blister. Tried doing it with grips because the screws were really tight and I didn't want to bend the bracket, but the grips kind of like crushed my thumb, which is not ideal, but we'll live, as we always do. Emergency silver tape on the job anyway. Typical. It's going to be about level really, but level the bracket up. That's somewhere where the squirrels want to be. We'll get some of this stuff got out of the way that we don't need. Put this one down there. Where's that one? We need to pick that one back up. Bits of pipe everywhere in here. Go in. Which way is that going? It'll go like that. Obviously without that bit in the bottom, but and then we'll pick that one there back up, along with that pipe there. We need to pick back up as well, and then the return we'll just have to swing in someplace else. Yeah, it'll look alright when I get everything stripped out. I mean, it's a lot better than it was. It's just bits of crap everywhere in here. Jobs like this, yeah, they are awkward because you're trying to keep everything going, not drain down or turn the water off over the weekend and stuff like that. It makes it more difficult, but you know that when you price it, like. Getting on my nerves, that is. I'll have to cut that over there. If in doubt, just give them a clout. It's never failed to loosen for me yet. We've got spaghetti, we've got junction. One of them that I've probably kept in down there, he's probably dead now, but I just can't see where that they go, but we'll be alright. Let's just bring that off. Whichever one that is dead, because that's the old flow. You probably won't be having it. I'm just going to get the rest of this cut out, the bits I don't need, and I'm just going to rejig all the pipework in nice and neat with a bit of luck. There's going to be a drop of water on here when I cut this because that non-return valve's probably held it back, maybe not. I like to put a balance valve on my primary return. It's the only thing I use gate valves for in plumbing, or a lock shield valve. It makes it easier to commission your system and balance everything up, especially when we've got 10mm micro bore on this one. We don't want it all going through the coil. It's a bit black. We've got most of it on the floor now, so we can start to see exactly what we've got to be picking back up. It's fairly easy from now on in. That's our return. Just need to make sure that return is last one back into the boiler, so it needs to go on a T first here, because that's the hot water return. We will put a gate valve, or we can make that one the hot water return. It doesn't really matter on this cylinder, either or really. It will just still go around the cylinder. There's no dedicated flow or return, I don't think. They're just both labelled primary coil. And then we'll pick that one back up for the heating. Them two are tied together, so I'll cap that one further back there so you can't see that cap end. I don't think I'm going to be able to get down the side of that cylinder to cap it back any further. Pump will go there. We'll put the expansion vessel off here, so there's no valve between the boiler and the expansion. We could even put another T there if we wanted. No, we can't. Scratch that, it's got to go there, or off the return first here. But we'll have a look at that, see how much space we've got. So yeah, it should be fairly straightforward from now on, he says. That bit we're in the way, mate, that's coming out as well. I'm going to something like that. As I say, then that return connection is last T back into the boiler, and then the heating return, which is that one there, will just elbow in at the bottom on there. Somehow, as long as that's straight, it needs a nibble off that length there. Right, so that's all piped back up. I've just got to pick these two back up and just send some 15 across there and pick that one and that one back up. That one we're going to cap further back, and we're going to get the boiler on the wall next and get the gas in straight through, hopefully. Still got to put an AAV on there, but that's no major drama. I'm hoping the return will swing back in there. It's going to be a little bit tight. I've got the pump set up, pumps going there, and then the expansion will just pick up somehow. And then we've still got all the PRV and everything, so I'm not leaving this rubbish like that. That's got the boiler lifted on the wall. I just missed it with my pipe work, only just, but the case will go on at that, and you only need like, what is it, 5mm around these. So yeah, that will go on. What I'm going to do, I will service all the boiler anyway. There's not much in these, to be fair. I do like that they are a good heat exchanger. And then you've just got a gas valve, condense trap, fan. As I say, it's been serviced regularly. It's probably, well, I'd say it's about 8 years old, maybe a bit older, but yeah, all I've been asked to do is move it anyway. So we'll get the thing piped back up, gas will go back in, that's not an issue, and then flow and return. I've kept the little connection pieces with the nuts and stuff, so that should pipe straight back in as well, hopefully. I might do the return like that, a couple of soldered elbows on there, straight back in, and the flow. It's because I'm working with these silly little pieces, you see, so you're working with what what they've already had. I might sweat that off there, put a socket and then just an elbow and it'll go back in then. But I'll put a T here to pick that up. I can't really do much other than that. Put the new flue through as well. That is a brand new flue with all new seals as well in the turret. So it just misses as well with the case for my pipe. So that's absolutely perfect. That's got all the pipework done in here. I've still got the gas to connect up onto the meter outside and the two tails to connect up downstairs, and then we can get filled up, or we can get filled up without the gas, but you know what I mean. And I've just got the electrics to sort as well. But yeah, that, I don't think it looks too bad compared to what it was before. That needs sorting as well. That drop's tied back in. I'm just going to put some lock shield drain offs on these downstairs rads and then we can get filled up. It just means if anybody comes to it in future, it's easier to drain down because there's no drain off taps anywhere. All this wall's being plastered anyway, they've got to build it out. So I'll pull that old condensate and stuff out, but they'll do the flue hole and everything when they come back, the builders. So yeah, should be alright. Went for the same brand, so the nuts should be the same. A good look. At least it gives the next person a fighting chance. No insert in there. I'm not surprised, but nothing surprises me anymore. Should we put a bit of water in it? What's that filter saying? I'm going to bolt my Magna cleanser on here in a bit. I mean, they're all new radiators, well, within the last 5 or 6 years, so I don't think there'll be much in it. Let's get some water in this system. I'll open these zone valves up. That gate valve's open. That water was already on the floor. It's actually pressurising up quite quick. What's the AUV in the boiler saying? I'll go and have a quick look downstairs. Make sure we've got nothing flying out. It's probably not that much pipework to fill. I can't see anything obvious up here. It's always a nervous moment filling pipework up. Looks good so far. There was already water on the floor down here for when I stripped the old boiler out, but certainly nothing obviously leaking. We'll go and get some more water in it. Virtually out. There's a drip on that fill loop. We'll put it at about 1.5 bar for a start. I'm just overridden it on the hive controller at the minute. The gas will need purging. Still got tired of them cables up at the bottom. The electrician's coming anyway, because there's a load of sockets and stuff that need moving downstairs. A bit fatty emission. I think it's lit actually. Still got a sealed gas pipe. We'll get the magna cleanse on it next as well. Once we know it's working. It's got a flow. Pump valves are shut actually, I think. We'll open them up. I didn't get the pump valves open quick enough, so it got a bit hot, but it cooled down. Pump is running. What speed is it? It's on 2. That's speed 3. Yeah, it's cooling down. It should be alright. Hot water's getting red hot. Water's just got back in. Sounds alright. I'm going to get the analyzer in as well. I would say this boiler's been set on max as well, so we'll probably range rate it down a bit. Yeah, that's alright. I suppose technically you should do fluid integrity first, but we'll check it with the case on in a minute. Stick it in max. Should be new. Already picked a bit on that. I think this 10mm feeds the whole of the downstairs, behind all the skirting, behind all the plasterboard. That pipe's getting hot. Try and pull the air out of it. The upstairs is the same, it's 10mm. It loops up and then all the way around. Just trying to pull a bit through, but I think that's exactly what he does. I think it's just 10mm looped all the way around on both the upstairs and the downstairs circuits. I've got plenty of flow through the valve. As loose as loose. Struggled with that job a bit at the end. I mean, I did what I could with it. The boiler was overheating, so I put a new pump on. But the problem was I couldn't get any circulation around the downstairs. It was weird. Well, it's done wrong. It's done wrong really, because you shouldn't really have any more than one radiator off 10mm microbore, and the whole of the downstairs is done off 10mm, and that also loops back upstairs and feeds one radiator upstairs. So there's 5 radiators on 10mm on that loop, and then upstairs there's 3 radiators on the 10mm that loop back through. So the upstairs was okay, I managed to balance that out, but the downstairs I could only get 3 of the 5 going any one. You could get them all working individually when the others were off, but I couldn't get all 5 working no matter how much to balance with it. I did spend a lot of time, probably more time than I should have done, trying to get that going for the customer, but the customer was really nice, and yeah, I did what I could with it. I don't think that's ever worked. Well, it hasn't worked. There's no way it has worked. But the boiler's not overheating now. And what I've said to the customer, because they're having all new flooring and everything in the house, all new skirting boards and everything, I said, do away with all that 10mm, because it's only been lashed in anyway behind the plasterwork. I'll cut below the skirting line, I'll clip 15mm all the way around, and I'll do the downstairs loop in 15mm, and it will work a hell of a lot better than it does now, I can tell you. But yeah, I can't do anything else with that system. It wasn't blocked or anything like that. I don't know if I didn't really get much footage of it because I was not under pressure, but I just wanted to get it sorted. But I took some of the radiators off and opened them into a bucket. It wasn't blocked, the pipework. You just can't. It's not physically possible able to feed it. So yeah, no matter, you couldn't balance it out on that. So yeah, the customer's fairly happy anyway. I mean, nothing I can do. So yeah, I just get the price sent across, replace it. I think it will only take me a day just to cut that off and replace it. So yeah, that's where we're at with it, and hopefully they're all right anyway. So there's nothing else I can do. But yeah, if you've stuck with me this long, the video's probably been quite long and boring. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time.